In this video, I'm going to be talking about natural disasters. So with your landscape, you can have everything set up nice and beautiful and just looking exactly the way that you want it to, right? You have your garden manicured beautifully, your house looks great, all the maintenance is done, everything looks nice, and then a storm rolls in from the outside and a tornado works its way up and just rips everything down to the ground, destroys all the hard work that you've had. Unfortunately, life can sort of work the same way, right? We can build up this life, we can have these values, this blueprint, set everything up nicely, do all this work to get everything where we want it to be. And then some sort of event can come along that rips out huge pieces of the work we've done and can cause us to have to rebuild our blueprint from scratch. So, those major life events like a death, an unexpected death, or a divorce, or things like that, can really shake up your life in a significant enough way that you have to sort of go back and really go back into the roots of creating your blueprint and figuring out what your life looks like, right? If you've, for example, had a partner for the last 30 years or something and then they're suddenly gone, there may be all kinds of things that change drastically for you. And to have the optimal amount of happiness, you're going to have to change a bunch of your thoughts and actions and the things that you've been working on. So this sort of change is inevitable. Now, it may not always be this drastic, right? It may not always take you from sort of this nice idyllic life into sort of the dredges of misery, but constantly life is changing in little adjustments. There are little disasters that happen, right? Little things that change our mind and our life. And that's the reason that it's so important that you continue to work through this process, is because things are going to change. Now, one of the nice things that works in your benefit is the more experience you have working through these things, the faster you can find a new set of blueprints and values and actions and things that allow you to optimize for happiness. Now, I say optimize for happiness because negative emotions are going to happen. They are part of life. There is no way to fully escape them. And especially if something like a natural disaster happens, right, where you lose a loved one, you are not going to just feel positive emotions. There is no way to avoid all of the negative emotions that come with that. But there are ways that you can shorten the half-life of those negative emotions. You can shorten the impact of that event as you look to rebuild your life and continue moving forward. So it's important to recognize, as you're working through this process, you're sort of building the muscles that allow you to be more resilient to the inevitable changes and natural disasters that will happen. The more that you can sort of push and control and work on things in your mind, the less chaotic it's going to be when those things do happen. Now, again, I'm not saying, oh, you're just going to be able to bounce back from these things and they're not going to have any impact on you. That is not realistic. But you will have more tools at your disposal to be able to work through these things and optimize your happiness, right? Increase the amount of time that you feel good and decrease the amount of time that you feel bad. But again, these are events that cause a lot of heartache and are bound to happen. So the more integrated you are with the process, the faster you will be able to sort of figure out things that now fit in your new landscape. That's all for this video. I'll see you in the next one. Thanks for watching. If you enjoyed the video, please take a second to subscribe, as it really helps out a lot. If you're looking for more content, there's all sorts of information over at howtohappy.com. And if you want something a little bit more condensed and concise, I've also written the book Mindscaping, which is essentially a framework for optimizing happiness. So we'll have the link there as well. And that's all I've got. Thanks again. I'll see you next time.